Welcome back, everyone. We're talking with City Councilor Mary Ellen Daly O'Brien, who is running for her 7th term as a Haverhill City Councilor. Welcome to the program, Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you for having us.
My pleasure. You know, I've got to ask you, if you could tell us a little bit about what you think the differences are that the city was confronting when you first came on the council, and what you think the issues are confronting the city today, just to give us a little bit of a perspective as to how time has gone along since you've been on the council.
That's a really good question, Frank. The first year that I was elected was right after 9/11. In fact, we were campaigning when 9/11 happened. And that first term, we started making some very, very important decisions, along with what then newly elected Mayor Gurin. And Massachusetts really took a financial hit that affected this city immensely. And I think those first 2 terms, we spent more time trying to whittle down local government and local services and really trying to build a different set of city services so that we could still meet our obligations, but we could no longer afford, because of the local economy drying up and state reimbursement drying up, we could no longer afford to keep as many people on the payroll and those benefits. Mm-hmm. Secondly, we had just closed Hale Hospital. That happened September 1st, the night of August 31st into September 1st, the hospital closed, changed over, it was bought by Essent. That put a number of people on our retirement. And not only just our retirement, but also on the benefits, the healthcare benefits that came with that. So these were enormous debts. So we were faced with little local aid coming into the city, the effects of 9/11 on the whole financial system, not just in Massachusetts, but across our country and the world. We were faced with an enormous debt that had to do with Hale Hospital. Those are the things we faced right away as a new councilor. That's what I saw right away.
And today?
Today, I think Haverhill's, because we made all those tough decisions very, very early on, and the hospital forced us to do that, I think that we weathered the storm better than a lot of other communities. And 6 and 8 years later, these other communities like Fitchburg, Leominster, Brockton, Worcester, they faced some of the same things we faced right away. We were already in a good position. We had built our technological abilities in City Hall. Mayor Ferrantini certainly brought a concise view of what he wanted to do with the city, and we were able to work with him back and forth to grow the city in a way that I think was a practical, smart growth way. Encouraging business, but also encouraging housing, looking at different things to do downtown. I think the city is so different now, and the way we conduct government is so different. I'm proud of it, quite frankly.
What do you think some of the compelling things are that are confronting the city that need specific attention to detail, perhaps in the same way that you did, that you had to pay attention to those details when you first started the council? What are those compelling things that are confronting the city today that the voters need to know about?
I think our job in this next term is going to be, how can we convince people how significant it is to replace the Hunking School? Mm-hmm. That's going to be our job, I think, right away at the top of the list. Secondly, what do we do to continue to encourage business coming to Haverhill? That you need the balance of good housing along with that business growth. We also have to continue to grow in what we do for our educational system. I think Superintendent Scully does just an amazing job. I believe in him, and I think that his ideas and what he wants to do as far as the high school and the elementary schools, he wants to take and bring a tech view to our middle schools so that children are looking at a whole different world when they go to Haverhill High School. Are they going to be in the classical academy, or are they going to go on the tech module, as well as just a general education? He's done a wonderful thing. He's done a wonderful job. I can't say enough about what I think about that man and what he's done for our educational system. So if I had a third thing that I think is very important, I would say we have to continue to take care of our buildings and our roads and our bridges. Right now, we're looking at the Daly Bridge as the next big project. We're also, we know that on track is the new railroad bridge, which slows down our train service here in Haverhill. We're working with the state to do what we need to do to make sure that project goes forward. And I think, the Daly Bridge is going to be a next big challenge. It's not that we do it ourselves, but we have to get the state to pay attention to our needs.
Okay. Can you tell me this? A couple of issues, one having to do with, let's say the landfill cap. Where does the money come for something of that type, which is imminent, and it's coming down the road, and it's mandated to have to be done?
That's a mandated project as well as the stormwater project. And I think that what we've been doing is we have, along with the mayor, done it piece by piece, what we have to do out of the budget.
Right.
Now, we're going to get to a point where we may have to do bonding. I'm not sure. Because I think...
Because the money's not there right now.
The money's not there. But the approach has been to do it piece by piece and not try to swallow the whole thing at once. I can't predict what will be available to us to do that. Is the federal government going to give us an ability to bond at a lower rate or a no interest rate so that we can finish the project? I have no idea. Is the state going to be able to help us? Different projects are available, different financial means are available to us through the state and the federal government at different times. Sometimes those sources dry up, and in their place comes something else. So I think our job is to always be open to what is the best thing to do. And I think this city council has always done a really great job of working with the mayor to identify those sources and get them in place for Haverhill.
With about a minute left, if I could ask you this question, relative to the cost of living adjustment that is on the table right now, that the city council is going to be considering down the road, what are going to be the most important factors for you to take into account before making a decision, yay or nay? Because the retirement board has recommended for it. The mayor has suggested that the numbers are not going to work in a projection in the future. I mean, everything sounds great now, but it's a kick the can down the road sort of thing if people do vote for it. And the council has tabled it right now. What are going to be the compelling key factors for you on something of this type, dealing with retired municipal employees?
I think we have to look at a collaborative approach and figure out a way that we can mitigate that. One of my concerns is the older person on that retirement. I'm not looking at the 50-year-old who can retire because they've been in public safety, or the 60-year-old who can retire because of public safety or education. I'm looking at someone who's over 75 now. I'm looking at someone who has retired from the city and this is their only income and has not benefited from the financial means that have come about in our lifetime. I'd like to look at the numbers of how many people fall into that age group, whether we call 75, 78, or 80 the mean, and look at people older than that. These are people who have one income, and they struggle,
essentially.
And I'd be willing to look at all those figures.
That'll have to be the last word. Thank you very much, Mary Ellen Daly O'Brien, for being able to be here. Wish you the best of luck in the upcoming election.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment.